Imagine being accused of brutally murdering your own family. This was the reality for Lizzie Borden. A chilling introduction to one of history's most unsettling cases. We find ourselves in Fall River, Massachusetts, in the late 19th century, a time when the Borden family had a prominent social standing in the community. Lizzie Borden, a woman of 32 years, lived here with her father, stepmother and elder sister. The Borden family wasn't just any family. They were wealthy, respected and well-known. Their stature was such that their home wasn't just a house, it was a landmark. Yet within these walls a gruesome crime was said to have taken place, a crime so horrifying that it shook the entire community to its core. Lizzie Borden, a name that would soon echo through the halls of history. But who was Lizzie Borden before she became a household name? To understand that, we must delve deeper into the pages of the past. Born on July 19, 1860, Lizzie Andrew Borden was the youngest child of Andrew and Sarah Borden. Lizzie's early life was set in Fall River, Massachusetts, a bustling industrial city famed for its textile mills. The Borden family was a prominent one, with Andrew Borden making a name for himself as a successful businessman. He was a man of significant wealth but notorious for his frugality. Lizzie's mother, Sarah, passed away when Lizzie was just a child of 2. Leaving her elder sister Emma to fill the maternal role. 3 years after Sarah's death, Andrew remarried Abby Durfee Gray, a decision that reportedly caused tension within the family. Lizzie and Emma were never quite able to warm up to their stepmother. Despite the family's wealth, Lizzie's childhood was anything but luxurious. Andrew Borden, despite his means, chose a lifestyle of relative austerity. They lived in a modest house far from the opulence one might expect from a family of their standing. This frugality extended to Lizzie's education as well. She attended local public schools rather than the private institutions favoured by the city's elite. Yet the Borden family was not without influence. Andrew's business ventures and property investments played a substantial role in shaping the city of Fall River. The Bordens were well known, if not exactly well liked, and their status brought them a certain level of respect within the community. Lizzie herself was known to be a quiet, respectable young woman. She taught Sunday school at the local church and was involved in various charitable organisations. On the surface, she appeared to be an ordinary woman, leading an ordinary life within her community. However, beneath this veneer of respectability, tensions simmered. The relationship between Lizzie, her sister, and their stepmother was strained, to say the least. The Borden household was a quiet one, but it was not a peaceful one. This seemingly ordinary life was about to take a horrific turn. On the morning of August 4th, 1892, the unimaginable happened. In the quiet town of Fall River, Massachusetts, a crime of unspeakable horror unfolded within the confines of the Borden family home. Abby and Andrew Borden, Lizzie's stepmother and father, were found brutally murdered, their bodies bearing the gruesome marks of multiple hatchet blows. The discovery sent shockwaves through the town, shattering the peaceful veneer of this close-knit community. The housemaid, Bridget Sullivan, had been resting in her room when the atrocities occurred. She was jolted awake by Lizzie's frantic calls, alerting her to the grim sight of Andrew Borden's lifeless body on the living room couch. Abby Borden was later found in an upstairs room, her demise as brutal as that of her husband. Within the crime scene there was a peculiar calm, a chilling contrast to the brutality of the act. Nothing appeared stolen, and there was no sign of forced entry. It seemed as if the perpetrator was someone familiar with the Borden household. In the immediate aftermath, suspicion quickly fell on Lizzie. She was home at the time of the murders, and her relationship with her parents, especially her stepmother, had been strained. Furthermore, the absence of any significant signs of a break-in suggested the involvement of someone within the household. The local police were quick to act. They arrested Lizzie Borden, a well-known and respected member of the Fall River community, just a few days after the gruesome discovery. The news of her arrest sent ripples of disbelief across the town. Lizzie, the youngest daughter of the Bordens, a Sunday school teacher, a philanthropist, was now under the harsh glare of suspicion. She was taken to the Taunton jail, a formidable institution with a history as dark and foreboding as the crime she was accused of. Lizzie Borden, a respected member of the community, was now a prime suspect in a gruesome double murder. This was the shocking turn of events that would forever change the course of her life and leave an indelible mark on the town of Fall River. Lizzie's trial began in June 1893 at New Bedford Superior Court. The eyes of a nation were firmly fixed on this small Massachusetts town, as the courtroom drama that unfolded would become one of the most notorious trials in American history. The prosecution's case was built around a few key pieces of evidence. Foremost among them was the hatchet found in the Borden basement. This was suspected to be the murder weapon, as it was clean but its handle was broken off, suggesting it might have been hastily cleaned after the murders. However, the prosecution could not definitively prove that this was the murder weapon. Another crucial piece of evidence was the testimony of Bridget Sullivan, the Borden's maid. She testified about Lizzie's strange behavior on the day of the murders, including her attempt to purchase prussic acid, a deadly poison, from a local druggist the day before the murders. On the defense side, Lizzie's lawyers argued that the prosecution's evidence was purely circumstantial. There was no physical evidence directly linking Lizzie to the murders. They also pointed out the lack of a clear motive. Why would a respectable woman from a prominent family commit such a brutal crime? The trial was a spectacle, drawing massive public attention. The press had a field day, with newspapers from around the country publishing lurid details and speculative accounts of the crime. The public was deeply divided. Some saw Lizzie as a cold-blooded murderer, while others believed she was the innocent victim of a witch hunt. The trial lasted for 14 days. In the end, the jury took just 90 minutes to reach a verdict. Despite the gruesome nature of the crime and the intense public scrutiny, Lizzie Borden was acquitted. The lack of concrete evidence and the inconceivable notion of a woman from high society committing such a brutal act may have swayed the jury. The trial ended, but the debate about Lizzie Borden's guilt or innocence rages on. Despite the gruesome nature of the crime, Lizzie Borden was acquitted. The story of Lizzie Borden is a chilling tale that continues to captivate and divide opinion, even over a century later. Lizzie returned to Fall River, but her life was never the same. After the verdict was passed, Lizzie Borden, now a free woman, found herself back in her hometown of Fall River, Massachusetts. However, the town she returned to was not the same one she left. The weight of the trial and the accusations still hung in the air, casting a long shadow over her life. The once familiar faces now held a distant, wary look, a stark contrast to the warm community she once knew. The Borden name, once synonymous with respectability, was now tainted with suspicion. Lizzie, alongside her sister Emma, moved into a grand house they named Maplecroft. Here they lived in relative seclusion, away from the prying eyes of the public. Lizzie adopted the name Lisbeth, perhaps an attempt to distance herself from the infamous Lizzie Borden that people whispered about. Despite the acquittal, Lizzie's relationship with her community was strained. She was acquitted in the court of law, but faced a lifelong trial in the court of public opinion. Many residents of Fall River continued to believe she was guilty, causing her to live a life of relative solitude. The friends she once had were now few and far between, a testament to the impact this case had on her personal life. As years turned into decades, Lizzie lived out the rest of her days in Maplecroft. She became somewhat of a recluse, seldom seen in public. Her life was marked by the quiet ticking of the clock and the occasional fluttering of newspaper articles, reminding the world of the mystery that surrounded her. And then, on June 1st, 1927, Lizzie Borden passed away. She left behind a life marked by scandal and suspicion, a life that was forever shadowed by a crime she was acquitted of. Even in death, the whispers didn't stop. Speculations and theories about her guilt or innocence continued to echo in the halls of Fall River. Lizzie Borden passed away on June 1st, 1927, but her story remains an enduring mystery. The Lizzie Borden case has left an indelible mark on American crime history. It's a story of family, wealth and murder that continues to captivate us, even after more than a century. The case's cultural impact is undeniable. It's influenced countless books, films and songs, becoming a fixture in popular culture. The gruesome details and the mystery surrounding the murders have made it a lasting fascination for true crime enthusiasts. This enduring intrigue is a testament to the case's influence, demonstrating how a single event can ripple outwards, shaping our collective consciousness. The Borden case didn't just change the face of Fall River, Massachusetts, it forever altered the landscape of American crime storytelling. It's a chilling tale that has transcended time, maintaining its grip on our imaginations. The Lizzie Borden case, a chilling tale of family, wealth and murder, continues to captivate us, even after more than a century.